Briefing for December 24, 2024. 1. Mergers and acquisitions in the automotive industry. Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan are discussing a potential merger to share costs and maintain competitiveness in a rapidly changing and increasingly fierce industry. Mergers between two companies from the same country do not guarantee success, as the automotive industry's history of mergers is fraught with failures and disappointments. Merging two large global manufacturing companies is an extremely challenging endeavor that requires coordination of different technologies, models, and business practices. The key to success lies in getting ambitious managers and engineers, who have long competed against each other, to collaborate. 2. Influencer Mel Robbins' new book. Robbins' new self-help book, Let Them Theory, was inspired by her son's high school prom. She learned to let go and stop over-controlling. The Let Them philosophy has brought Robbins comfort, and she has begun applying this concept in other contexts. The phrase has gained popularity on social media, with fans even getting tattoos of it. This is not the first time Robbins has transformed a slogan into content creation. Her previous 5-second rule also became a widely recognized concept. 3. Christmas situation for Christians in Gaza. Gazan Christian Ramasori stated that this year they can only hold religious ceremonies and are not in a celebratory mood, still mourning. Since the war began, hundreds of Palestinian Christians have been hiding in two churches in Gaza City, despite Israeli military operations destroying much of the area. 4. Technological transformation in the automotive industry. Honda and Nissan are exploring a merger to create one of the world's largest automotive groups to better respond to the technological changes reshaping the industry. Unlike traditional gasoline-powered models, more vehicles today are equipped with batteries, electric motors, and advanced software that support features like autonomous driving. 5. Houthi missile attacks on Israel. Israel reported that it successfully intercepted a ballistic missile launched by Yemen's Houthi forces. Since the Hamas-led attack on Israel on October 7, the Houthis have been firing rockets and drones at Israel in the name of the Palestinians. The frequency of Houthi attacks is increasing, posing a threat to international trade. Briefing content. 1. The Biden administration is considering implementing significant new sanctions on the Russian energy sector in the final weeks of its term to increase economic pressure on Russia and provide leverage for the incoming Trump administration. 2. The 2024 U.S. presidential election process. On the Republican side, Trump still leads Biden. Third-party candidates like Kennedy, Stein, and West are also in the race. On the Democratic side, Biden will engage in two debates with Trump and clarify some controversial statements. For third parties, the Reform Party has nominated Kennedy for president, while the Libertarian Party has nominated Oliver and Termad as a ticket. 3. Long-term cancer survivors share their stories, showcasing the hope brought by advances in medical technology. Through a positive mindset and resilient willpower, they have achieved commendable results in their fight against cancer. In summary, this article presents the dynamic changes in American society from multiple perspectives, including politics and healthcare, highlighting significant policy decisions and the proactive responses of ordinary people facing serious illnesses. The content is rich and informative, warranting in-depth study. Briefing content. On April 12, 2023, the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, FSB, arrested Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, accusing him of espionage. This marks the first time since the Cold War that Russia has accused an American journalist of espionage. Gershkovich denied the charges, stating he was merely reporting. U.S. Senate Majority Leader Schumer and Minority Leader McConnell issued a joint statement calling for the immediate withdrawal of the false charges against Gershkovich and his immediate release. The U.S. government also stated it would do everything possible to bring Gershkovich home. Additionally, in March 2018, a fatal accident involving an autonomous vehicle occurred in Tempe, Arizona, when an Uber self-driving car struck a pedestrian, resulting in the death of a 49-year-old woman. Following the incident, Uber immediately suspended its autonomous vehicle testing programs in the US and Canada. Preliminary police findings indicated that the accident was unlikely to be Uber's fault. Overall, These two articles report on the arrest of an American journalist in Russia and a fatal accident involving an Uber self-driving car, highlighting important points regarding the threat to press freedom and the safety of autonomous driving technology, providing readers with comprehensive background information. Briefing. On December 24, 2024, the Financial Times reported several interesting pieces of information. 1. Bitcoin investment firm MicroStrategy's ETF fund is experiencing rare growth pains. These ETFs attempt to track MicroStrategy's stock price with double daily returns, but have recently shown significant tracking errors. This is primarily due to the size of these ETFs exceeding the total return swaps offered by their trading counterparts. 2. Energy prices in Ireland continue to rise, with Bordgeis Energy announcing increases of 34% and 39% for electricity and gas prices, respectively. This means an average household will pay an additional €579 for electricity and €526 for gas annually. The price hikes are mainly due to disruptions in Russian gas supplies. 3. The Irish government is facing pressure to address rising living costs and has committed to taking measures in its budget and cost of living support plans. The EU is also planning emergency measures to address rising gas prices. In summary, the article reports on the tracking error issue with ETF funds and the challenges posed by rising energy prices in Ireland and Europe, as well as the government's response measures. The content is comprehensive and highlights key points worth noting. Briefing for December 24, 2024. North Korea deploys troops to Ukraine. Reports indicate that hundreds of North Korean soldiers have died in battles with Ukrainian forces in the Kursk border region. The Russian military is also involved in the fighting in the area and has reclaimed 20% of previously lost territory. Ukrainian officials claim that North Korea has sent over 10,000 troops to support Russia in the Ukraine war. A North Korean official stated that the dispatched soldiers are not experienced combatants and have never seen real combat. Black Sea tanker incident. On December 15, two Russian tankers sank in the Kerch Strait near Crimea, causing severe oil pollution. Satellite data estimates the leak at around 3,000 tons. The incident resulted in one death, and 11 people were hospitalized due to low temperatures. A criminal negligence investigation is underway. 2 days later, another tanker carrying heavy oil sent a distress signal, but the Russian emergency services stated the situation was not serious. Ukraine has called for sanctions against Russian tankers, accusing Russia of failing to adhere to basic operational protocols. Mango founder passes away. On December 14, Isaac Andic, the founder of the Spanish fashion chain Mango, tragically drowned in the Salmador caves of Montserrat, Catalonia, at the age of 71. Andic was a prominent Jewish entrepreneur who made significant contributions to the Spanish Jewish community. Mango currently has nearly 3,000 stores in over 120 countries, and Andic's net worth was estimated at $4.5 billion by Forbes. Coffee prices surge. In 2024, coffee prices reached a 50-year high, rising by 70% to $3.50 per pound. The primary reason is climate change, which has caused droughts and extreme weather in major coffee exporting countries like Brazil and Vietnam, affecting coffee bean production. The combination of supply shortages and increased demand has driven prices to historic highs. Celebrity sexual assault allegations. Reports indicate that rappers Jay-Z and Diddy have been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl at a party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. The victim, referred to as Jane Doe, claimed she was given a drink that made her feel dizzy. Jay-Z denied the allegations, calling them extortion and ridiculous, while Diddy's legal team declined to comment. Briefing content. In December 2024, The Times launched a series of short films titled Understanding Your Era, showcasing the struggles of the newspaper's behind-the-scenes journalists. These films highlight the efforts and courage of journalists in reporting the truth, including facing death threats, legal disputes, and maintaining integrity. The inspiring details behind these real stories are often overshadowed in the reporting. In the same month, the Indian government proposed a One Nation, One Election bill, aiming to synchronize national and state elections. The bill received 269 votes in favor and 198 against in the lower house, and will undergo a 90-day review by a joint parliamentary committee. Prime Minister Modi supports the bill, arguing that frequent elections hinder national development, while opposition parties criticize it as potentially damaging to India's parliamentary system and detrimental to regional parties. On December 15, 2 Russian tankers sank in the Kerch Strait, resulting in an oil spill of approximately 3,000 tons. The incident led to 1 death, and 11 people were hospitalized due to low temperatures. Ukraine accused Russia of failing to adhere to basic operational protocols. On December 14, a New York court ordered ABC to pay $15 million in damages to the Trump Presidential Library for anchor George Stephanopoulos repeatedly falsely claiming that Trump had been convicted. Trump was also ordered to pay a total of $88.3 million in 2 other cases. On December 8, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol announced and subsequently lifted a state of emergency, sparking widespread domestic opposition. Although Yoon's ruling party failed to pass an impeachment motion, his actions remain under scrutiny, with calls for his resignation. Briefing for December 24, 2024. 1. Private equity tycoon shares £44 million profit after acquiring Asda. 17 partners at UK private equity firm TDR Capital shared £43.9 million in profits in March 2023, up £33 million from the previous year. The highest-earning partner received £2.9 million. TDR Capital partnered with gas station entrepreneurs Mohsen and Zubair Issa to acquire Asda Supermarket in 2021. After the acquisition, Asda fell into competitive difficulties due to a £60 billion debt burden, with market share dropping from 14.8% at the time of investment to 12.5% in early November. Former Asda chairman Lord Rose described the decline as embarrassing. TDR later appointed former Asda CEO Alan Leighton to manage the supermarket. 2. Explosion at Italian hydroelectric plant. On April 15, an explosion occurred at the Suviano Lake hydroelectric plant in central Italy, resulting in at least 3 deaths, 4 missing persons, and 3 seriously injured. The cause of the incident has not yet been determined. 3. Former Mossad agents reveal hidden bomb operation. 2 former Mossad agents, identifying themselves as Michael and Gabriel, revealed that the Israeli intelligence agency spent 10 years hiding bombs in walkie-talkies and pagers, detonating them earlier this year. They stated that these attacks sent a message to Israel's enemies: "Don't mess with us." Israel had previously sold 16,000 explosive devices to Hezbollah at a discounted price. 4. UK MPs warn, remote education during the pandemic will cause long-term harm to children. Layla Moran, chair of the UK House of Commons Health Committee, stated that remote learning during the pandemic highlighted significant disparities in students' learning progress in classrooms, which will negatively impact children's futures. 5. Australians mourn the star crocodile from Crocodile Dundee. The 5-meter-long, 700-kilogram saltwater crocodile named Bert passed away in Darwin at the age of 90. It appeared in the classic film of the 1980s and later became a psychic star. Briefing for December 24, 2024. Title: Paris Saint-Germain signs 2 new players. Summary. On July 6, 2016, French football club Paris Saint-Germain announced the signing of 2 new players. 1. Polish defensive midfielder Jegorz Krychowiak from Spanish club Sevilla, signing a 5-year contract. Krychowiak had played for Sevilla for 2 seasons and had previously worked with current PSG head coach Ernesto Valverde, participating in the quarter-finals of the 2016 European Championship for Poland. 2. Belgian defender Thomas Meunier from Belgian club Brugge, signing a 4-year contract. Meunier had played for Brugge for 5 years and helped the team win the Belgian Pro League and the Belgian Cup this season. The addition of these 2 new players will further strengthen Paris Saint-Germain's defense and contribute to the team's performance in the upcoming season. Previously, PSG had already signed French midfielder Hatem Ben Arfa. Below is a briefing summarizing the core content of multiple articles provided. Briefing: Balancing Historical Reconstruction and Reality. The article explores the current societal re-evaluation and judgment of history, as well as the impact of this attitude on reality. Key points. 1. A wave of dehistoricization is sweeping through society, attempting to completely deny and discard various injustices and wrongdoings of the past. This angry mindset is spreading globally, aiming to deconstruct flawed history, highlight past crimes, and view them as unreliable knowledge references. 2. This attitude contains a surprising arrogance, believing that our current moral standards are superior to those of the past. However, in reality, we have only made progress in knowledge and understanding, not necessarily become better in an absolute sense. History is continuously evolving, and we should approach and understand the past with humility. 3. Overly denying history can lead to negative consequences, such as fueling the rise of far-right ideologies. We should strive to understand history in a more critical and in-depth manner rather than simply condemning and discarding it. Only then can we create new spaces for dialogue and promote social progress while preserving historical memory. 4. The article also discusses the changing dynamics of social relationships, such as the phenomenon of friendship decline. Maintaining interpersonal relationships requires time and energy investment. We cannot infinitely expand our social circles and must seek a balance between quality and quantity. In summary, the article calls for humility, critical thinking, and balance in the process of reshaping historical understanding and social relationships, which is crucial for promoting social progress. Briefing: Oslo University Library faces crisis of burning 200-year-old newspapers. In September 2008, Norway's Aftenposten reported that Oslo University planned to burn 200-year-old newspaper archives, drawing attention. These newspapers include the Manchester Guardian, the New York Times, the Frankfurt Report, and Le Figaro. Although they were temporarily moved to a warehouse for preservation in 2002, the university and the National Library remain unwilling to continue preserving these historical documents. Frankfurt Book Fair thrives, publishing industry prospects bright. In October 2007, the Frankfurt Book Fair opened with 7,448 exhibitors from over 100 countries, showcasing 391,652 books, including 121,267 new titles. The publishing industry is expanding into emerging fields such as ebooks and audiobooks. During this period, several writers and artists received significant awards, including German author Julia Frank, who won the German Book Prize. German national football team player faces discrimination from far-right party. In April 2006, German national football team player Patrick Owomoyela sued the far-right party NPD for using discriminatory language and images in its pamphlets. The court ruled that NPD must immediately cease publication of the pamphlet and imposed a fine of €250,000. Overall, these articles reflect the challenges faced by various sectors in Germany, such as culture and sports, while also showcasing the efforts made by society to uphold fairness and justice. The protection of Oslo University's newspaper archives, the thriving Frankfurt Book Fair, and the case of the national football team player opposing discrimination all exemplify the progress and inclusiveness of German society. Briefing content: Germany's Best Product Award, a guide to consumer trust. Consumers exhibit a certain level of distrust towards online reviews, believing that more than half of the reviews may be fake. Different consumers have subjective evaluation standards for product quality, design, and other aspects. To help consumers make informed choices, Germany's Süddeutsche Zeitung launched the Germany's Best Product Award. This award is voted on by real consumers, providing high credibility and independence, serving as a reliable purchasing guide. The award covers various products, including facial masks, children's backpacks, and home gardening fertilizers, reflecting the genuine evaluations of potential consumers. Navalny poisoning incident. In August 2020, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was poisoned within Russia and was subsequently urgently transported to Berlin, Germany, for treatment. The German government stated that military laboratory tests showed the poison used to poison Navalny was a Novichok-class nerve agent, a toxin developed by the former Soviet Union. The German government strongly condemned this attack and demanded an explanation from Russia. The Russian government denied Germany's accusations, calling them unfounded. Navalny is a vocal critic of Putin's regime, and this poisoning incident has drawn widespread attention. Bayern Munich star Lahm extends contract. In May 2008, Bayern Munich star Philipp Lahm signed a 3-year contract extension with the club, keeping him in Munich until June 30, 2012. Lahm stated that negotiations with the club's management and new head coach Jürgen Klinsmann were productive, and he felt a fresh start, which convinced him to extend his contract. In summary, these articles cover issues related to consumer trust in Germany, political events, and the dynamics of sports stars, providing rich content and substantial information. The briefing highlights the most valuable information points and succinctly summarizes the entire content, achieving a complete and focused effect. Briefing content. On December 24, 2024, China Daily reported the following key points. 1. During a visit to Austria, the South Korean president stated that if North Korea agrees, they will actively promote the provision of COVID-19 vaccines. The Austrian president also expressed willingness to provide assistance if North Korea signals a request for help. 2. Chinese young composer Qin Zhao's musical works were performed by the Asian Philharmonic Orchestra in Beijing, showcasing his creative musical style. 3. New York has witnessed multiple subway violence incidents, including a woman being killed in an arson attack on the subway and an elderly man fatally stabbing a suspect during a robbery. Although the overall crime rate in New York has decreased, the number of murders in the subway system has risen. 4. An author from Scotland shared his experiences from his first visit to China 37 years ago, discussing his impressions of China, views on Sino-British relations, and understanding of China's cultural diversity. He believes that to deeply understand China, long-term contact and learning are necessary, and he calls for strengthening exchanges and cooperation between China and the UK. In summary, this issue of China Daily covers content across various fields, including politics, culture, and society, reflecting the current interactions between China and the world. The reporting focuses on significant events while also emphasizing personal stories, striving to present a comprehensive and objective view of China. Briefing. 1. Japan's GDP per capita ranking has fallen to 22nd in the OECD, below South Korea, placing it last among G7 countries. The main reason is the depreciation of the yen, which has not compensated for nominal GDP growth. It is expected that India will surpass Japan in the future. 2. The Japanese Shinkansen Series 0 model was retired on December 14, 2023, after its final run in western Japan. This classic model, which began service in 1964, is known for its distinctive dumpling nose design. The retired carriages will be scrapped, with some preserved in museums. 3. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba stated that he will enhance the transparency of political funding and passed related legislation in a temporary National Assembly. Additionally, a supplementary budget proposal was approved with opposition party support, including funding for the recovery and reconstruction from last year's earthquakes and floods. 4. South Korea is facing political turmoil, with the current acting President Han Duck-soo also facing potential impeachment following the impeachment of former President Park Geun-hye. The opposition party is demanding the establishment of a special prosecutor's office to investigate the rebellion behavior announced by former President Yoon Suk-yeol and corruption allegations involving his wife. 5. As Christmas approaches, Japanese citizens tend to enjoy simple yet special Christmas meals at home, such as tomato honey sesame chicken and mozzarella cheese salad, paired with white wine or sparkling wine to create a festive atmosphere. Briefing. 1. Japan's Ministry of the Environment plans to raise water quality standards for perfluorinated compounds. The Ministry of the Environment has found that organic fluorinated compounds exceed the current temporary target indicators in private water supply systems across 11 prefectures nationwide. To address this, the ministry plans to elevate the water quality standards for PFAS compounds from the current temporary target to a legal standard starting in April 2026, enhancing regulation. This means that water suppliers will be required to conduct water quality testing, and if levels exceed standards, they must take action. 2. Renowned Japanese judo athlete Hitoshi Saito has passed away. Saito, a two-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, died on January 22, 2015, in Osaka at the age of 54 due to intrahepatic bile duct cancer. Saito was the chairman of the training committee of the All Japan Judo Federation and served as the head coach of the men's national team, leading the team to gold medals in the 2004 and 2008 Olympics. 3. Ferry routes between Japan and South Korea cease operations. Kyushu Jet Ferry, a subsidiary of Japan's JR Kyushu Company, will stop operating the high-speed ferry route connecting Fukuoka and Busan, which has been in operation for over 30 years. The main reason for the cessation is that the ferry Queen Beetle developed cracks and leaks in 2022. The company attempted repairs, but experts deemed the design flaws difficult to resolve completely, leading to the decision to scrap the vessel, which cost 570 million yen. 4. Cambodian real estate developer sentenced to heavy prison term for murder. Cambodian real estate developer Srey Sina was sentenced to 31 years in prison for the unwarranted shooting of a young couple during a neighborhood dispute, sparking public outrage. The court also ordered Srey Sina to pay over $2 million in compensation to the victims' families. This verdict has drawn attention as Srey Sina was previously awarded the title of Oktha, a prestigious honor given by the Cambodian government to wealthy businessmen, typically believed to afford them special protection. 5. South Korea's political crisis continues. Following the impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol, acting President Han Duck-soo faces the threat of impeachment. After Yoon briefly declared a state of emergency, the opposition Democratic Party is demanding the establishment of a special prosecutor's office to investigate the matter and is urging Han Duck-soo to approve related legislation. The Democratic Party has threatened to initiate impeachment proceedings if Han Duck-soo does not approve, further exacerbating South Korea's political turmoil and raising concerns among neighboring countries. Below is a briefing summarizing the core content of multiple articles provided. Briefing for December 24, 2024. 1. Economic sluggishness and slowing wage growth provide more reasons for the Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, to consider interest rate cuts at its first meeting in 2025, creating a suitable opportunity for Prime Minister Albanese to announce federal elections. 2. The minutes from the RBA's December board meeting show a significant change in the bank's expectations for the economy and inflation, raising hopes for a rate cut in February. 3. A Sydney woman, Jacqueline Savannah Bonner Musa, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for crushing her cheating boyfriend to death in 2020 and will be eligible for parole in 2034. The judge deemed it a spontaneous and unpremeditated murder but also an extremely serious crime. 4. Musa experienced poverty and trauma from war in her early years and became a legal worker after arriving in Australia in 2004, taking care of her 4 children and elderly mother. The judge stated it was a tragedy that required a balance between various factors. In summary, these articles cover important information across multiple fields in Australia, including the economy, politics, and the judiciary, highlighting key information points while succinctly summarizing the overall content to achieve a balanced presentation. Below is a briefing summarizing the core content of multiple articles provided. Briefing for December 24, 2024. 1. After Trump's election, his family frequently made comments about Canada. Trump's son Eric Trump shared a composite image on social media showing Trump purchasing Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal on Amazon. Trump himself has repeatedly referred to Canada as the 51st state. 2. In response to the threats from the Trump administration, the Canadian government launched a $1.3 billion Canadian 6-year spending plan to address border security and the influx of illegal drugs into the U.S. 3. Slovak Prime Minister Matovic tested positive after attending a summit with French President Macron, prompting voluntary quarantines among several world leaders. Motovic's government has also faced criticism for failing to procure enough rapid test kits in a timely manner. 4. In the NHL, the Columbus Blue Jackets staged a last-minute comeback to defeat the Montreal Canadiens. 5. Canadian poet Warren Clements published a satirical poem criticizing Prime Minister Trudeau's policies. 6. Two companies in the artificial intelligence sector, Broadcom and NVIDIA, are rapidly growing and occupying significant positions in the AI chip market. Analysts believe NVIDIA holds more investment value. In summary, these articles cover various aspects, including the Trump administration's attitude toward Canada, the Canadian government's response measures, the COVID-19 situation among European leaders, Canadian sports events, Canadian political culture, and the development of the artificial intelligence industry. The content is rich and informative, with the briefing aiming to comprehensively summarize key information. Briefing for December 24, 2024. Theme: CEO of United Health Group in New York City murder case. Key information. 1. On December 4, 2024, Brian Thompson, CEO of United Health Group in New York City, was murdered in Manhattan. 2. The suspect, Luigi Mangione, 26, from Maryland, has been charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors claim he intended to create panic. 3. Police arrested Mangione at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where he was found with a ghost gun and a silencer, consistent with the weapon used at the crime scene. 4. Mangione was also carrying a large amount of cash and fake identification, with police believing he targeted Thompson due to the size and influence of United Health Group. 5. Mangione's mother reportedly told the FBI that she believed this case could be something her son would do. Summary: this case highlights societal dissatisfaction with large insurance companies in the U.S., with the suspect possibly motivated by ideological reasons for the murder. The police successfully apprehended the suspect through meticulous investigation and determined he had premeditated criminal intent. The case has sparked widespread attention on violent crime and its motivations in society. Below is a briefing summarizing the core content of multiple articles provided. Briefing for December 24, 2024. 1. Indonesia's anti-corruption agency has accused former President Megawati's confidant of bribery. The Indonesian Corruption Eradication Commission, KPK, has named Hasto Kristianto, Secretary-General of Megawati's Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle, PDIP, as a suspect in a bribery case. This investigation follows the expulsion of former President Joko Widodo from Megawati's PDIP party, which did not join the current President Prabowo's coalition government. PDIP claims the case is politically motivated, but KPK has stated it will release a statement. 2. Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam opens its first metro line. This is Vietnam's first metro line, constructed with assistance from Japan's Official Development Assistance (ODA) program. This makes Vietnam the latest city, following Bangkok, Beijing, Jakarta, and New Delhi, to have a metro system built with Japanese aid. 3. The ASEAN Football Championship semi-final between Singapore and Vietnam will be publicly broadcast at community centers. Due to limited capacity at the venue for the first leg of the semi-final, the People's Association and Home Team NS will organize public viewing events at 11 community centers and 3 Home Team NS locations. The Singapore team performed well in the group stage, while Vietnam topped their group to advance to the semi-finals. 4. The Israeli military conducted a raid in a Palestinian refugee camp, resulting in 1 Palestinian death. The Israeli military stated this was an anti-terror operation, leading to the arrest of 18 individuals, but Palestinian official news agencies reported that a man was shot dead by a sniper during the operation. Since October 2023, hundreds of Palestinians and dozens of Israelis have died in the occupied West Bank. In summary, this briefing covers multiple hot topics, including Indonesia's anti-corruption efforts, Vietnam's metro construction, ASEAN football event broadcasts, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, highlighting the most valuable information points while succinctly summarizing the articles.